Hello and welcome to SAP ReimAGined podcast series, episode 1, Optimizing Cloud Strategy with Grow with SAP. In this podcast, we aim to explore enterprise technology strategies for optimizing operations, share industry insights, and chat with industry-leading experts, all whilst trying not to bore you too much. That might seem like a hard task, especially with how much information is out there when it comes to enterprise technology. So we've condensed all you need to know into bite-sized episodes. I'm Gregor from AG, and today I'm pleased to host Kieran Pask from SAP to discuss what makes a good cloud strategy, find out a little bit more about what Grow with SAP is. Great to be chatting with you, Kieran. Perhaps you could do a brief introduction just to, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
First of all, thanks for having me on the podcast. Great to be on episode 1, kicking things off. I've been around the SAP ecosystem 5 years now. I've spent time across different parts of the business. First of all, in delivery as a project manager, scoping out projects and working with customers on their cloud transitions, programs to support cloud implementations with SAP consulting and partners and so on. But more recently, I've been focused specifically on the preliminary elements to implementation, which is all around discovery and how you approach a cloud transformation journey. Working towards how do you get the most out of Grow with SAP. And that's what we're here to discuss today. Looking forward to getting into it.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate you being here today to help us dissect the topic of optimizing cloud strategy. So to kick things off, I'm just curious to hear a little bit about how you would define good cloud strategy, especially for organizations that are in an ERP transformation project at some point in the near future. From my experience, it's something that's often not fully understood. And as is the case with most things, bad strategy tends to lead to bad results. So perhaps you could dive into that a little bit for us.
Everyone has a different idea of what good looks like, but ultimately you judge the quality of a cloud transformation or implementation project on results, right? What you're looking to achieve is sustainable growth, right? So the concept of re-platforming your ERP, you don't just want to go from an on-premise model to a cloud model, and that's a tick in the box because you've moved CapEx to OpEx. It's much more complex than that in terms of the value that you extract from that transformation. So you want to be moving onto a platform with a standardized set of business capabilities that you can operate from day one. You want the vendor to deliver new features, new applications, new capabilities like generative AI and sustainability reporting metrics and a carbon ledger and all this good stuff. Grow with SAP will ultimately give organizations the ability to adopt new features as they come to market. But with that comes the ability to also be flexible in terms of how you diversify the products and services that you offer your end consumers. And all at the same time, you want to think about the operational components as well. Am I responsible as an end user for security, for the hardware that platform, that solution sits on? Am I responsible for patching, upgrading, testing that software? Who is responsible for doing all of that? And that's ultimately why you want to move to a cloud model. It's not the fact that it's hosted in the cloud somewhere up in the ether. It's the fact that it's a subscription-based model like you have with Netflix, right? If you look at the Blockbuster model, you can compare that to old school ERP, right? Where you buy something that is a physical component, you have to put the DVD in a piece of hardware that you own in order to be able to operate that film that you want to watch. You're liable for that, element of physical device. A subscription model like Netflix is completely different. You pay one cost, you have new movies, you have new content, it's always available, it's every device, it's wherever you are in the world, right? That's what you want from a platform or a software solution as a service. And that's exactly what we're doing with our ERP solution, and we're making it accessible on mobile, Android, tablet, iOS, you name it. And you want it to be a scalable platform that grows with you as your business grows. And we've seen different economic push and pull factors in the last few years, obviously COVID being a big one. And ultimately, that's what Growing with SAP does. Without getting into the nuts and bolts of it, what drives successful transformation is the ability to factor in all of those different components and making sure that you're asking those questions so that you're driving those successful outcomes.
Interesting. I really like the analogy there with Netflix and Blockbuster. I think that clarifies a lot of the confusion there. And just to kind of pop onto my next question there, for companies that are looking to modernize their ERP, they're looking to go from this Blockbuster to the Netflix model, and they're needing a more structured, prescriptive approach. Grow with SAP is something we hear a lot about, especially in the SAP ecosystem. Can you walk us through what Grow with SAP is and how it helps businesses move to the cloud in a way that's simple, scalable, and delivers quick time to value? It's not just another kind of acronym that a big business has thrown out there, is it?
No, look, Grow with SAP at its core is fundamentally an ERP solution with other components from the SAP ecosystem built into one subscription to offer a diverse set of points of value for an organization, whether it be back office, front office, finance, all these different things. And it's delivered in a subscription model. There's still an implementation to deploy the best practices that come out of the box, but ultimately you're subscribing to a business suite of applications in terms of Cloud ERP at the center with portfolio of our products around the edge with customer experience, HCM, supply chain management, digital manufacturing, cloud for shop floor execution, or modular components with embedded AI agents to allow you to do, use Gen AI to interrogate different data sets you have across your organization. All of that data is brought together with the business technology platform, but right in the center there is your Cloud ERP. Now that can take two flavors. You have Rise and you have Grow. Rise is ultimately there as a transition model for our install base customers that are currently running ECC or S4 on premise and want to do a selective migration to a cloud subscription model. That would be a brownfield migration. So what I mean by brownfield is it's taking the ability to utilize what you've already built in your on-premise environment and lift and shift in one of a better term, some of that content to your cloud subscription. Grow with SAP, on the other hand, is a true SaaS solution. Grow with SAP is a true public cloud-enabled solution, meaning it's multi-tenanted. You can have a number of customers leveraging the same tenant, the same application content, which means if you think about that from an economies of scale view, the way that you or I might log into our iPhone and we have the same user experience, we have the same set of apps. When Apple updates iOS, we all receive the same update because we're using the same version of software. We're making the total cost of ownership much, much lower. We Grow with SAP. We're able to manage that landscape for a mass of customers all on a single tenant, whilst at the same time giving all those customers the ability to containerize their data and separate that and make it secure in an SAP data center, but at the same time being able to leverage the economies of scale from the application and the performance of the solution in terms of what it does. You're actually able to leverage new innovation and content as and when it's deployed. So you have a lot of flexibility and agility with S4, specifically public cloud, but also you have to think about the openness and extensibility that model gives you. We built S4 or Cloud ERP to be the bedrock of any organization in terms of back office, reporting, all the supply chain activity. But what is central to a successful cloud strategy is having the ability to unify data sets across the organizations and being able to do demand planning, inventory checks in your ERP and have that information readily available to inform taking your material requirements plans that you do in your ERP and then integrating that directly into your shop floor for your manufacturing execution system. It's really important to have unified data sets and one actual fabric of data that sits across the organization. So cloud platform integration gives you the ability to really tightly integrate all your applications, be it SAP or non-SAP applications. But with that power of the business technology platform embedded in Grow with SAP subscription, you now have the ability to actually bring data sets together and then build targeted insights on top of them and surface that information in usable reports and dashboards for your C-level exec. And interesting, I think you probably saw an announcement. One of the really cool things that SAP's announced this year is our new relationship with Databricks and how that Databricks solution is being incorporated into our new business data cloud application. So to give you a really quick overview of what that will do, you'll have your, business suite of applications with Grow or Rise, plus all of your event management. Those will be your tightly integrated applications to run the organization. But then when you think about the data that those platforms and applications are utilizing, we will be able to bring data sets together from SAP and non-SAP systems, because one will have DataSphere that builds your data products for you. You can surface those data products in SAP Analytics Cloud and build dashboards and Databricks. You can take those data products and actually do interrogation on those data sets to then do root cause analysis to look at why is my days sales outstanding so long? How do I narrow that gap? How do I account for shortfalls in production capacity on the shop floor? What is my production capacity? Why am I operating at 80% capacity? Why do I have stockouts? You can build algorithms on top of your data sets to actually give you that information. So I think that's going to be really powerful and something that we'll see a lot of adoption of this year as we roll out Business Data Cloud in conjunction with solutions like Grow with SAP. we're really seeing our customers starting to kind of reciprocate with us, saying, we thank you, SAP, and this is what we've been asking for, and now we're seeing it come to fruition.
It's exciting to hear about the integration of some of the best of breed technologies like Databricks and that new relationship that's kind of come out of the woodwork there, especially the out-of-box integrations and the fit to standard approach explanation as well. And it really reinforces to everyone else who's listening in how streamlined that journey to the cloud can be. So thank you. Naturally, though, that leads to the question of who benefits the most from Grow. My answer is usually Tom Cruise, if the subscription includes 4-inch insoles, which I'm sure it doesn't, unfortunately for him. In your experience, industries or business profiles have shown the most promise with the Grow approach?
Yeah, look, I think typically most people immediately goes to IT thinking, as a SaaS-based platform, there's less onus on the organization around hardware and infrastructure maintenance and application maintenance and testing and upgrades, etc. And whilst that is a benefit, that's not what Grow with SAP primarily aims to do. We're aiming to, improve efficiencies for day-to-day operatives in the platform, whether it be a billing clerk who wants to look at where can we write off, and clear bad debt? How do we recoup some of our aged debt? It might come from an email, it might come from the telephone, and you want to incorporate as much AI and technology into that process to automate as much of that as possible. So you want to be able to say, for a sales, you can receive an email and automatically we can use intelligent robotic process automation to scan through your email and generate a sales order based on the information you have there. And that can reduce time to value for the end customer in terms of how long it takes them to receive their order. You can even look at, guys on the shop floor. You look at a production planner who might do a material requirements plan before they execute a production order and see there's a shortfall of certain inputs into the manufacturing process of raw material. And you want to automatically create a requisition and purchase order for that material. So you don't have to rely on individual users going in, requisitioning products, and you can automate that based on contracts you have with suppliers, based on supplier analytics you have that show based on the fact that you need an order to be executed by next Friday, and you have a shortfall of material here. You want analytics that are going to be able to tell you, based on historical orders, this supplier's lead time in terms of when you order to when you receive the goods receipt and the materials available in the warehouse. On average, that is 1 day and 2 hours. So that's giving you the insight as an individual to be able to do your job effectively. And I think that's what Grow with SAP aims to do, right? It aims to bring all these different intelligent technologies that are out there in the ecosystem together in one place to ultimately drive better efficiency for operatives throughout the business across finance, supply chain, and all other areas.
Appreciate your insight into cloud strategy and especially Grow with SAP. Just before we call it a day here and that's your busy schedule, how would you say partners fit into the implementation of Grow, and what's the benefit of kind of the partner playing a role within that process for clients?
One of the real benefits of Grow with SAP is it accelerates time to value for customers if they can, approach their cloud transformation journey in the right way. And it's difficult. There's change management involved, and partners play numerous roles. We're dependent on partners like AEG for your experience across, the oil and gas industry, the manufacturing industry. And we need you, reliant on you to bring that experience into these engagements with our clients. So, we'll continue to strengthen our relationship as we bring more customers to the cloud, and we'll continue our strong collaboration with partners as we have done for the last 50 years.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for answering my questions so in depth and effectively. Really appreciate your time today, Kieran. So I guess before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of some of the key takeaways of today's discussion. So we explored why having a strong cloud strategy is essential, how Grow with SAP can help streamline the move to the cloud, and the critical role that partners play, like AG, in ensuring a smooth and successful digital transformation when it comes to implementing a cloud ERP. So be sure to join us for our next episode, where we'll explore how to accelerate your move to the cloud, digging into some real-world successes within energy and oil and gas, as well as exploring the pros and cons of taking a more modular approach to cloud transformation. So thanks again, Kieran, for your time, and thanks to all the listeners as well. I'm Gregor from AEG, and this has been SAP ReimAGined. Until next time, ciao.